It's the final countdown. Da-na-na-down, da-na-na-down, da-na-na-doom, da-na-na-down. 22 hours left, ladies and gentlemen. In 22 hours time, the FOMC meeting decision is going to be revealed into the market. This is 10:30 a.m. DC time. You can see that the Board of Governors have sat together and they were giving a decision on what the interest rate announcement is going to be. What is the future outlook for monetary policy? That's the man himself, Fed Chair Powell. And in 22 hours time, we're going to be seeing the interest rate decision. I've got some base case scenarios. I've got a brand new bot that I'm opening, that I have opened on AVAX, which I think is a very interesting one to be watching out for. We're going to be discussing Bitcoin positions, BNB hitting a brand new all-time high. So much to get into today. If you enjoy these videos, as always, go to the most recent video, which is this one, and destroy the like button if you haven't done so yet, and make sure that you're subscribed. We're going to be streaming the FOMC tomorrow on the Moonshow channel. I'm expecting massive amounts of volatility. I'm insanely excited. And in this video, I want to share you some quick thoughts on what I think will happen tomorrow. So look, the most probable case is that we get a 96.1% chance that the Fed cuts by 25 basis points. I agree with Nick from Coin Bureau, a great friend of mine, an absolute legend. He says a 25 basis point cut tomorrow is clearly priced in. And I just realized we're friends, but he doesn't follow me. Nick, okay. I need to talk to him about that. But jokes aside, a 25 basis point cut tomorrow is clearly priced in. If we get a 50 basis point surprise cut, then the markets will rally. I agree. If we get a 25 basis point cut, which is the likely event, I think either markets stay neutral. So when we go to Bitcoin, either we're going to be absolutely neutral or we see a correction to the downside. We've been pricing this in for so long. Like, it's just, you know, it would be so strange to me if Bitcoin would pump with a 25 basis point cut. I realize I'm logged out, but basically all of my positions, you guys own weeks, are there, and I'm expecting to be fully bullish. I want to see Bitcoin go above 17.5 with the confirmation. If we can do that, then blue skies ahead. So I'm remaining in all of my long positions on weeks. If you want to trade on weeks, first link is in the description down below. And Pinex have a wonderful campaign for a trading bot I want to show you that I opened on AVAX, and I want to explain to you why I opened this position. Bitcoin 17.5, we break through it. To me, that's the point of confirmation. And you know, a lot of people are calling for corrections, and I think a 25 basis point cut could lead to a potential correction. 50 basis points would be unbelievable. Potentially ignite altcoins to see a run. This is where trading bots come into play. I will explain. And I think that's the base case scenario. So even though if we see a small drop to the downside with a 25 basis point cut because we expected it, then I'm still going to be bullish. You know, short term, I don't like how this 1 hourly chart looks, but I'm not really taking any actions against it. If we do see a drop to the downside, I love the fact that gold has had a brand new all-time high. We can go to gold. We hit 3,700 today. If you go to the S&P, you also hit a brand new all-time high. So clearly massive divergences with gold, S&P, and Bitcoin. And I think Bitcoin has some catching up to do, which I think we can do. It's just we need to break above 17.5. Even if we see a correction, I think eventually we're going to make that recovery and head towards the upside. And that's why on weeks, I have all of my long positions still maintained. What am I doing with altcoins? Because tomorrow means more to altcoins. So S&P, gold, all-time highs. Tomorrow means more for altcoins than it really does for Bitcoin, because if we do see the Fed cut by 50 basis points, I think we can see a pretty massive rally in altcoins. The first altcoin that I really like is AVAX, and what I did was I set a grid bot to buy AVAX in the event that we get the 25 basis point cut tomorrow and AVAX dips to the downside. My clear levels are all the way down to 26.1. So look, huge W pattern, massive amounts of support there. When you zoom out and you look at that macro, you have a beautiful bull flag. And when you go into the even bigger macro, when you put it on the logarithmic timescale, you've got actually a huge bullish pennant. So AVAX got their S1 ETF filing. It means that the ETF is coming in pretty soon. I love RWA. I think AVAX is super underpriced. So I decided to open a futures grid bot. And this specific bot, I'm going to leave in the description. Right below the Pinex link, you'll be able to see the grid bot link, which you can actually copy if you wish to do so, the parameters. Make sure that you do your own research. That's super, super important. This is just a bot that I think is cool, and I'll explain why, but please come to your own conclusions. Massively important that you do that. It's just that I think it's pretty cool because I find support there. And if AVAX decides to dump to the downside, look, you can see the green lines. You actually, if AVAX sees this correction all the way to 26.1, this grid bot is going to accumulate AVAX. And I personally think that actually AVAX can potentially go, if we look at the parameters, I actually think that AVAX can potentially go all the way to $185 in this cycle. Now, it may not, but we can adjust that later on. Like, you can adjust the bot parameters, the price range later on. Let's say it looks like AVAX will be topping out at $120 by the end of the cycle, then I'll just change 185 and keep it to 120 or 100 or whatever it is. It doesn't really matter. I just think that AVAX, with, particularly, I think can do quite well with the ETF now coming in. And this grid bot, I've done it in a way that as it goes to the downside, it's going to accumulate more of AVAX. And then as it goes to the upside, it's going to sell, 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 sell. So it's pretty interesting. I'm going to share the link to this bot. So just wait for the link, the second link, if you want to take a look at it. If you sign up to Pinex first, because you have to sign up to Pinex first, when you use the second link in the description down below, you get a phenomenal bonus. So if you deposit 100 USDT, you're going to get 100 USDT bonus voucher. And this voucher, you can actually use to open that bot. You can wait 72 hours or until Friday. That's when the reward distribution happens. With only this 100 USDT voucher, you can just go ahead and try the grid bot. You don't have to actually use your own money. And if you deposit $10,000, then you'll get a $1,000 voucher. So if you do those deposits, or if you do the 10K deposit, for example, $1,000 voucher, you can try it out with AVAX, with Bitcoin. I have a few other grid bots. Yesterday, I talked about my Ethereum grid bot. I want to buy all the way down to 3.365. I'll leave a link to that grid bot also. But if you want to sign up and try grid bots, I think it's pretty cool. I'm going to make some educational content on them. You can go to the second link to sign up to Pinex. And then the third and fourth link are going to be the Ethereum grid bot and also the Avalanche grid bot. That is my sort of market outlook. Just tomorrow is going to be so volatile. So really, I think instead of opening direct derivatives positions, DCAing with bots to me just makes more sense. But apart from AVAX, I mean, so far I have about 20K in this account, and I've done, let's see, how much have I invested? So I did 500, 500, 500, about 1.5K invested. I'm just thinking, Solana is looking amazing. I really like Solana for the long term. I expect $500 for Solana. You guys know that BNB, I think we can go all the way up to 1.250. I really like Chainlink. I honestly love Chainlink. I'm just considering, should I do a Chainlink bot too? Because if we see a breakout of this bullish pennant, I'm pretty confident that Chainlink is going to run. I'm contemplating. But I also do want to wait for the breakout. Okay, for maybe Chainlink, I'll wait for the breakout. I'll run more bots likely. I'll make another video update before the FOMC. So if you're curious, then make sure to subscribe and keep your notification bell on to be alerted as soon as I post that video update. And I just spawned in my headset because my screen froze and I was so scared that my screen wasn't sharing, but thankfully it was. So that's about it. That's sort of my positioning for tomorrow and how I'm waiting. Ethereum positions obviously on week, still active. I've opened them since 1.6 thousand dollars. Sadly, I didn't log into my account, but hey, you can see the latest Moonshow. I talked about my positions there. This is my expectation, and tomorrow I'm going to share another update video before the FOMC. I'll do an update video post FOMC, and the only sort of breaking news we have is actually today, Michael Saylor, and you can see Tom Lee, interestingly, they were in Washington, D.C. invited by Senator Cynthia Lummis to discuss about the Bitcoin Strategic Reserve. I get Michael Saylor, but why is Tom Lee there? Weird, but why not? And yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day. Tomorrow, I'm not going to be sleeping. I'm excited. And I'm curious to see what happens with the FOMC. We're going to be live and streaming it on the Moonshow channel as we always do. So take care, stay tuned, and bye-bye.